Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sayyid Farroq Hasan is back with a new episode of Sky is the Limit. Viewers, it has been my constant attempt to unearth those unsung heroes of Pakistan who contribute towards the betterment of Pakistan, whether it be economics, political stability, any other aspect where they bring in their experience and benefit Pakistan. And of course, we are all proud Pakistanis. Today, my guest is a seasoned engineer. He has also had a stint in politics. And he is someone who believes that Pakistan should be shaped into a sustainable economy, and bringing it through engineering excellence. So let's hear it from the man himself. He is currently the chairman of Pakistan Engineering Council. I am honored to be with Mr. Najeeb Haroon. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam, Janab. Thank you, Farroq sir.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for giving us time. I was going through your profile, and what caught my eye was that you have an engineering business, of course, and you are amongst the top 50 taxpayers.
I'm ranked at number 32 in the country.
Ranked at 32 in the country, and that, of course, in the current circumstances and otherwise also, this is our contribution towards Pakistan. That is a major feat.
Alhamdulillah.
So, we are very, very proud of that. We're going to talk more about that. But before we go into that, you're currently heading Pakistan Engineering Council as the chairman. Where did your journey start from? Which city? Where were you born? And how was your early childhood?
1955, almost 7 years after Pakistan was born, my birth took place in Karachi.
Karachi.
My father was a government servant. He carried his employment from India and moved to Pakistan. Actually, I was born and raised in Karachi.
Okay.
The year is 1955.
Okay.
7 years after Pakistan was born.
Okay.
So technically, my father moved from India. He was a government service.
He was a government service in India, and then from there, when Pakistan was formed, he moved to Pakistan.
That is correct. He was with the federal government.
Okay.
He was with the Ministry of Food.
Okay.
And of course, there is an area in Karachi by the name Jahangir Road. There were quarters constructed out there.
Okay.
Small 2-room quarters. So a typical story of a middle class, call it a lower middle class, born there, and then of course.
So you were 8 years old when you came to Pakistan.
1947 and 55, 8 years old.
8 years old when you came to Pakistan.
So no. 8 years after Pakistan.
8 years after Pakistan was born, you were born.
Yeah,
you were
I
born
was
in
born
1955.
in 55.
Okay, fair enough.
So I am now 69 years old.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah.
So you, growing up, you would have seen the early formative years of Pakistan, like your early childhood, like late 50s.
I belong from
early
the generation which did its schooling in the 60s.
Yeah.
College and universities in the 70s. I graduated from NED. I went to DJ College for my FSc, which is a 150-year-old college in the old city.
Okay.
And I did my bachelor's from NED, University of Engineering and Technology.
Which school did you go to?
I did my matric from, there was a government senior model school in Karachi, which was an only English medium government school,
Okay.
It was a Pila school sort of thing.
What was the name?
Government senior model school.
And where was it?
That's in PCHS.
PC.
Of Share Qaideen.
It's still there?
It's still there.
Okay.
Still there.
Okay.
A lot of people, are the outcome of that. And
Okay. And what was the environment in the school? Like being a government school, did they promote sports and?
Back in the 60s, there were a lot of schools and there were a lot of Christian teachers out there with a missionary commitment. So from class 1 to 8, I went to primary schools, at a walking distance from my father's house. And in class 9th and 10th, because I wanted to take science and I wanted to become an engineer. So then, that school was a distance, but I used to walk that distance in class 9th and class 10. So it was a model school, and a lot of product all over the world from that school has achieved
And
too much for
you are one of it,
Alhamdulillah.
that
Alhamdulillah.
product, of course.
Alhamdulillah.
And so, your early childhood, were you the eldest sibling? Did you have any other? Do
My
you have
sister was a year older than me,
Okay,
and among the three brothers, I was the eldest.
eldest one.
So, but you know, in those days, all four of us went through the same cycle, same primary school, same secondary school,
Okay.
same school for our metric. All three
brothers.
siblings, all brothers. For metric, my sister went to a different school.
Okay.
So that was the culture. Karachi was beautiful.
Ah.
Education was good.
Very safe.
Grooming was fine. And I mean, the good schooling that lays the foundation.
Yeah.
For anything that could be constructed on that.
Great. And what were your interests during while you were growing up in the school days? Were you like amongst the top 3, top 10 students, or were you more inclined towards sports or debates?
I was never a serious sportsman.
Okay.
But in those days, there used to be a season. Whenever cricket was there, everybody used to play cricket, hockey, football, whatever. Table tennis, I had a table at home also. So table tennis I've been doing till now also. I'm serious. I compete with all my 3 sons.
Oh,
and
wow.
sometimes beat them. So I took table tennis seriously. I still play that.
Okay.
And it's an excellent, game that way.
Yes.
The reflexes.
Yes.
The hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
Everything. But never pursued it to a serious level. Academics, I was fine till class 8. In class 9th and 10th, I found out I was good. In my class, I stood first.
And what about arts and debates and other extracurricular activities?
I was participating in most of them, but nothing to write home about,
Fair enough.
So I was there. I was present. But at the same time, when I went to the college, now this DJ Sindh Government Science College is a 150-year-old college.
Yes.
And Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan had gone to this same college, and a lot of people like Dr. Najeeb Rizvi,
Yes.
the brands are out there. So I went there for 2 years, my FSC, first year and second year. And then from there, I did my FSC.
No, but before when you did your metric, had you decided by then what you want to do in your life?
Before that, by class 8th, I had decided.
You want to be an engineer. And how did this thought come about?
Basically,
who influenced
these
you?
are the good old days when they're in middle class. There were 2 phenomena.
Doctor, engineer.
Doctor, engineer, doctor. These are the days, I'm told that in Saudi Arabia, if they would see any Pakistani with shalwar kameez, they would think that Pakistan has only doctors and engineers. They would say, Ya Daktur or Ya Mohandas, which is engineer in Arabic.
Okay.
But of course, so engineering, medicine, so like we were 4 of us, there would be academic competition, and whoever could make it, there would enough numbers or mark. So I could enter the engineering university. One of my brothers, my youngest, he became a doctor.
Okay.
My sister couldn't get, she went for MSc. Another brother of mine couldn't make it, he went for MBA. So, engineering and medicine, science used to be not the first choice.
Generic professions.
And actually, in the third world, this was the phenomena. In the middle class, this was the phenomena. And engineers have made the
During
world,
those days, 60s, 70s.
definitely.
Like these days, it's IT, AI.
Fine, but actually, what I don't like is everything is welcome. But if Pakistan had become a developed country, of course, technology, emerging technologies have to be adopted. People will always go for professions which are more glamorous or financially rewarding. So I wouldn't blame anybody going for it. But Pakistan needs engineers. And these are all also technologies of engineering. Now, at the time that I was doing my engineering, there used to be 6 or 7 technologies out there.
Yeah.
Now there are 32.
Oof.
Pakistan Engineering Council has approved 32 disciplines in which degrees are awarded to
In different universities.
from different universities. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. Okay, great. So you, when you started your intermediate in DJ Science College, you said, and you had all these people graduating from there also, Dr.
Yeah, there was the legacy about that college.
Legacy of that college, so it's a lot of pressure on that account also. And you scored well in your
Yeah,
pre-engineering?
good enough to get admission in NED.
And NED at that time must have been, and
It was,
still it is.
yeah, in Karachi,
It's one of
at
the
that point in
biggest
time,
engineering
you
universities.
know, there was only one university. I'm talking about 1973, when I did my FSc. That
Okay.
was Karachi University.
Okay.
And that Karachi University used to grant degree to NED also, the engineering, and to the Daw Medical College, they used to give the medical degree.
Okay.
Dowd Engineering,
Dowd
and
Engineering.
yeah, all these, and Sindh Medical College was also there.
Okay.
So the degree awarding university was the Karachi University. And in 1973, there was an activist in me. When I did my FSc, I found out from the merit list that I'm not getting admission in NED. I would have to go to Dowd Engineering College.
Okay.
Okay, NED was rated
And
as a
Dowd Engineering was the second best.
It was, the second best, but probably it had different technologies also.
Okay.
The NED was, at that point in time, NED was offering mechanical, electrical, civil, and Dowd was offering electronics, metallurgy, and there was chemical or something, electronics, metallurgy, these were the technologies. Architectural engineering was also offered. So I wanted to go for civil engineering for that matter. So NED. So at that point in time, we formed an action committee of students, 18 years old, pursuing the government of Sindh to raise the number of seats for the first divisional. Okay, and that year in NED 100, I was the chairman of that action committee.
Okay.
Okay, and we would go and give statements and meet the MNAs and MPAs of those times, the ministers, and pursued. And then 100 seats were increased in NED.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
On merit.
So you were in the student body.
I was in the student body of DJ College.
Yeah.
And there was another friend of mine who was in the student body. I mean, these were nurseries,
Yeah.
where boys and girls used to be groomed. Okay, their learning curves, they used to go through it. And of course, the communication skills, the articulation, you could pursue things, the self-esteem, the confidence that you would go and meet the minister. I still remember Dur Muhammad Oso was the Minister of Education. Then there was another one, Pyar Ali Alana, who took over. And we would go as an 18-year-old and negotiate, and got 100 seats increased, alhamdulillah.
Oh.
And, the new campus was being built. There was some time lapse in between. So only for 1 year, I had to give some solution. Okay, how when the number would increase, there were no as many classrooms out there. So for that 1 year, in my first year, there was an afternoon shift for 2 sections of 50 each to accommodate these 100 increased seats.
And that was just because of your efforts.
The effort of the action committee, and I also benefited, and 99 others.
Others also were.
And accordingly, when these 100 out of Dowd were pushed here, so there was accommodation for another 100 in Dowd who would have been left out. So,
So where did this streak come in you, like these negotiation skills and active politics, student politics?
I always believe that we have to thank Allah first, and then maybe our parents. Recently, this young man, Arshad Nadeem.
Yes. The pride of Pakistan.
Everybody needs to study it's the DNA. Maybe his grandfather, his grandmother, his parents, how that DNA combined, and then this young man is born.
Yes.
And how the talent in Pakistan is wasted because we are unable to identify
that talent.
Actually, all credit to Arshad Nadeem for the effort that he has made.
His
but I would
resilience.
give greater credit to the DNA that was transferred into him, that was coming, and that needs to be studied. And, because it's all, whether these are mental faculties, at the end of the day, it's Allah who grants us. And our parents and grandparents, the combination, how that DNA is working.
Yes.
And whatever part. So, Pakistan has a tremendous potential all over. If you go in the sports, etc., there are areas, the footballers of Liari, it's built in them.
Yes.
And internationally, we have to place them, exploit that, groom them. I mean, even if a diamond has to be polished and
You have to
crafted.
tap it, identify it, and then groom it.
And the country like China, this time was just one medal below. At one point in time, China was 39 gold and US were 38. At the end of the day, US crossed and got 40, China 39. So when the countries, move upwards, the self-esteem, the pride, the vigor, the
Yes.
energy.
And the inspiration.
The inspiration. And I'm sure this boy has done so well for him. And I'm thankful to Allah that whoever identified him, so there are potentials. So like you asked, so this was probably ingrained in me. At 18, you formed an action committee and you were a
And you
chairman
got the
of-
right platform.
and you got the platform, and then you got this. And coming from the middle class that I came, I got admission in NED.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a proud student of engineering. At the same time, my father had retired already 4 years back before that thing. So for my first year, second year, and third year of engineering, all along, I was doing a job in the night shift with PIA and then with Saudi Arabian Airlines.
Okay.
So, that way, and it used to be a full-time job. I used to wear a uniform with one marked over here, and, I would go and do the duty, and in the afternoon go to school. So that's how, you have
So
to
it
spend
was a lot of struggle and hard work.
It is the middle class that has transformed the world. And from underdeveloped to developed world, because they would like to strive.
They have that
would
thirst
make an effort,
for like getting success.
If you are hungry,
Yeah.
you want to eat most.
If you
So
have fire in your belly, that would make you move.
That would wake you up in the morning
Yes.
and make you run.
That's true. That's true. So how did you fare out in NED? How were the
And NED, all 4 years, I got a first class.
Okay.
Okay. And I was on the margin because close to exam, I used to have 1 month of paid leave. And another month I would take up leave without pay.
Okay.
And but I had, my friends were the best coming out of DJ college and the school. So they would help me. And I would prepare myself and do the exam.
Wow.
And I didn't lose any of my academic year. And in the final year of engineering, I decided to quit both the jobs. The first one I had quit after second year, and in the third year I was there with Saudi Arabian Airlines, and not in Pakistan, in Jeddah. So I was a brave guy. Because in those days, TWA, Trans World Airlines, was computerizing Saudi Arabian Airlines.
Okay.
So the Americans came, they interviewed. I had just there in the past my second year, so I had more than 2 years experience of PIA. They selected me and took me to Jeddah.
Okay.
So I joined Saudi Arabian Airlines, saved money, earned reals, foreign exchange.
This was very early in your career, like
It was 76 July.
right after you.
No, I haven't graduated.
You're still okay.
Oh, I've just done my second year.
Okay.
Because I've just done my second year, entering the third year.
Okay.
But the sessions used to be elongated. Because I'm in engineering, 4-year course was stretched to 6 years in those days.
Okay.
All kinds of things happening. The Bangladesh Namanzoor, Urdu
Political
language,
instability.
political, the 77 PNA movement, all this was happening.
So you got that time and you utilized it in Saudi Arabia.
I used that leverage, and they were elongated sessions, that way. So I did that. So, Saudi Arabia. So I was fortunate between 76 July to 77 April. I earned reals, foreign exchange, and fortunate to take both my parents on Hajj while I was there.
Wow.
So at the age of 21,
You got your.
I funded, and it is their duas probably which take me wherever I go.
Yes.
They performed Hajj there. So,
Great,
that
great.
way you
And then after spending that time, you came back in April.
Before my third year exam, I've resigned.
Okay.
So by the time I was 22 years old, I had resigned from 2 international airlines.
Yes.
And I was there in the third year giving my third year exam.
Okay.
So, and there was some saving of reals, which was, melting, out. But I had enough to see that I can reach the finishing line of my final year. And then in my final year, I became the president of NAD.
Okay.
Students' Union.
The student body.
Yeah,
Okay.
the student body.
Okay.
And that used to be an election back in 70s. That was 78
Okay.
that I got elected for the 78, 79 session.
Was student politics aggressive at that time also?
No, no, nothing like
There
that.
wasn't any violation?
Aggression had started.
Okay.
Because the political parties' intervention had started and stuff like that. But NED was a neutral, pure academic institution.
Okay.
So I won that election, sweeping that way. So
In the final year?
In the final year.
Okay.
And then made preparation and gave my final year exam, and then
You
went
passed
out
out.
in the market and started my career.
Okay.
But the building blocks were there.
Right. Right.
From DJ College
Yeah.
to that action committee.
So got a lot of
to PIA's exposure.
good exposure.
But there would be very few people like myself who could claim that they've been part of the college union, they have been part of the university students union, elected. And while I was in PIA, I was part of the CBA, the collective bargaining agent, the labor union.
Yeah, the labor union.
Because I was a staff category, I was they used to call me a junior sales assistant.
Okay. Okay.
GSA, So that all that exposure helped me understand the dynamics, how the mind of a person sitting in a clerical or staff position works.
Wow. So, anyways, so you got a lot of exposure for your age, and you graduated, and now you wanted to, I'm sure you wanted to look for a good job.
I was out in the market.
Yeah.
And now I was the president of the Students' Union. I used to, in those days, I was a member of the syndicate of NED. I used to have an office there with a steno and all. Now I'm in the market, and I was offered a 1,200 rupees, 1,250 rupees job. And steel mills was towards the fag end. It was in the last, towards the end of its construction. So I joined, there was a company, it was owned by the Saggers. Najeeb Sagal used to be the chairman, one of the Saggers. And I joined that company as a young engineer, assistant engineer, started from 1,250 rupees. By the time I was there for more than a little year, I was drawing like 3,000 rupees. So, by the time I got my result and confirmation, I kept getting the increments. So in the first year, from 1,250, I was more than double to 3,000.
Yeah.
Then I switched over to another company
Okay.
where I got like 4,000. So in Pakistan, back in 81, back till 1981, the highest salary that I drew was 4,000 rupees.
At that time.
At
And
that
which
time.
year was this you're talking
1981.
about? 19. So 4,000 rupees salary in 1981, and then we have a mega engineering company tycoon in the making. How did it all happen? We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. A very, very interesting conversation with Welcome back to Sky's the Limit. I'm in conversation with the chairman of Pakistan Engineering Council, Mr. Najeeb Haroon. Let's hear it from him. So, Mr. Haroon, you got 4,000 rupees salary. At that time it was a very good salary, and you must be a happy man. What did you do next?
I got married.
Okay.
Because now 2 years had gone by. So, I got married in 81. And of course, after 4 or 5 months, that company decided to wind up that business. So fortunately, I got an offer from Saudi Arabia. I was 26 years old.
Okay.
So
You had contacts there because you had lived there before.
Yes, I was. No, because that was purely airline business. Now I'm an engineer.
Okay.
So it was a Pakistani company, Gammon.
Okay.
That was a
The
giant
Gammon
company,
Group.
The Gammon Pakistan.
Yeah,
Limited,
yeah.
So they offered me a job in Saudi Arabia. So I joined them. Now that was a bachelor status. My wife was here. I was there. So we were, moving around. So I was there for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And the mission was to save money.
Yeah.
So 3.5 years went by. One of my sons was born when I was 28.
Chalo.
And I was able to do a couple of Hajj out there and a lot of Umrahs because I was there in place close to Makkah in Taif.
Ah,
I
okay,
used to
okay.
live
Yeah,
there
yeah.
in Taif. It was used to be their summer capital and a
Yeah.
hill station.
Yeah, hill station.
But at the same time, by the year, you know, 2000, 1985, I was 30 years old, had done some savings. I got an admission from USA.
Okay.
And my wife had graduated, she was a doctor by then. And so I went to US in the fall of 85.
So you were applying to universities there,
I
or
was
you wanted to
applying
study further?
because actually I was saving, and as my savings grew, I found out okay, I can fund my education out there
But
for
it
my
was there
master.
at the back of your mind, you want to study further.
Yeah, because at that time with that money I could have come to Pakistan, bought a plot in defense or an apartment. I wanted to do my masters.
Okay.
Okay, so as a 30-year-old, I went to US. My wife and my son followed, lived there for a year and a half with the backpack again at the age of 30, went to school.
Which university was that?
This was Oregon State
Oregon
University,
State University.
on the West Coast. Okay, so that I was there for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
There I found out that my schooling, my college, and my NAD University was the best because when I was going to school with the locals and from all over the world, I was getting straight A's. So if you look at my transcript, I was a 4 GP grade point average.
Wow.
I had 17 A's out there. I majored in civil engineering, and for my minor, I went to the business school, took 500 level courses from the School of Business, cost accounting, financial management, financing. So, for an engineer, it is necessary to understand what financial management is. Engineers are sometimes very good in their core areas, in their training, in their specialized areas, but they are soft in their other skills. So so their soft skills have to be developed, like their communication skill, their presentation skill, their know-how about financials, because now the world is very competitive. Everything must have a financial edge. A good engineering proposal must, the financial proposal has to be equally good matching it, so that an engineer has to, defend their proposal as financially viable.
Fair enough.
Because whoever would be approving it, whether there is some industrialist or whether there is in the public sector, the financial viability
Is something which
because
counts.
probably there was only one thing, our nuclear program, where finances didn't matter.
Yes.
We
that was of
because
national
at
security.
whatever cost, okay?
Yeah.
But other than that, everything
Every
that
project
you do,
yeah.
the financial efficiency or the viability has to be in place. So I was there, got my 4 GPA, but as soon as I completed that, my second son was born. I waited for a couple of months for him to come in this world. So there he was, the 2 sons now, burned my boats, came to Pakistan. The year is 1987 March.
You could have gotten a job there in States also.
With a 4 GPA,
No, top
the
of-
States was there with open arms to embrace me. And if there is a big magnet, all small magnets will get attracted
Yes,
to it.
yeah.
But I was definite that that's not my place. This is the country. My parents were there. And I was fortunate. I came back in 1987, March. In 1997, January and February, within a span of 33 days, I lost both my parents. So I was lucky, I got 10 years with them. And that's what I keep telling young boys and girls and engineers, that we have to change this country. This country, because all of us can't go. Can't take your parents, can't take your siblings, can't take all your friends. So you will be stuck out there. Maybe your houses will grow in the West, or your car will become bigger, but you won't enjoy those luxuries. At the end of the day, you will suffer.
And the homeland, the feeling of being in your homeland,
Yeah, because
on
like
your own
I
soil.
keep saying, you can go and on a hilltop plant a small 10-feet tree. So you'll have to look like that because the tree is 10 feet and the hill is 500 feet. Okay? But in the valley, if a 100-foot tall tree is there, maybe you will have to look like that, but the tree has the height of 100 feet. So every tree, every person has to be measured from where he's coming.
Yeah, that's
And that's what makes the difference. Is that 10 feet tree better off or this 100 feet tree? I would say this 100 feet tree.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So you burned your boats, you came back to Pakistan. What was your, what did you have in mind? You to get a good job?
That's all because all my maternal, paternal side were doing jobs.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a job. Now I say I was fortunate. At that time I thought I was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find a job.
Being, getting a 4 GPA from...
everything. And a good experience of Middle East, etc.
Was it because there were too many engineers in the market?
I didn't study the statistics and dynamics, but there I was trying an interview, but I would say, Allah wanted it.
Blessing
that way.
in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise. And sometimes when this way is blocked, and Allah wants you to go in another direction.
Yeah.
So I became an entrepreneur. I didn't have a choice. There was a room in my father's house on the outer side, a small 8 feet by 8 feet. I took a table and chair and started working. So now 37 years down the line.
That was the formation of the principal group?
That is correct. That is correct. Because it was thrusted upon me, that way, that I had to. But I found out that Allah has strange ways. And I kept telling people that don't get frustrated. There's another morning. And maybe sometimes we are blocked. Why? Because Allah wants to take us elsewhere.
Somewhere else.
Now,
Well,
I was looking for a job.
Tawakkal.
Okay, I was looking for a job, but Allah wanted me to become an employer. Allah wanted me to do something for this country.
To create jobs.
To create jobs. Now maybe good 60 to 80 engineers work in this company.
So, but starting your own business for a person who's more inclined towards going for a job is a difficult thing. To convince yourself that, be reliant on yourself and...
Humans are resilient. They are survivors. And engineers are survivors. Because they have the degree. I keep telling all the engineers that when our engineers are leaving the country, it won't matter for them. They will be acknowledged and accepted all over the world as engineers, whether that's Africa or America
because
or
they have
whatever.
that degree,
But this country is bleeding. This country is suffering.
They need it.
Yeah, we need our engineers to build this country, okay? And we need to delegate them those responsibilities in their areas of expertise. That's my case, which I'm fighting for 6 years in Islamabad with our bureaucrat friends, with our establishment friends, with parliamentarians also, because I was also for 5 years part of that fraternity. So it's not engineers will make it; they are survivors.
But you need engineers here on
but
ground.
Pakistan needs its engineers to stay back
on ground,
contribute on the ground, and help this country develop stage-wise from underdeveloped to a developing to a developed country.
Right.
How it can happen that 45 years back when I graduated, we were an underdeveloped country and a third world country. And 45 years later, when I'm sitting with you as a 69-year-old, now my sons are there, 40-year-old, 37-year-old, 35. We are still out. We have to change that.
We have to change that so that the next generation can look back and say that, we are a transformed
We have to change the recipe.
Place now.
We have to change the recipe. If we keep trying the same recipe a million times,
it's going to give the same result.
Same result.
And every engineering student who graduates from a university, engineering university, is by default a member of PEC?
Has to get himself registered.
Has to get
himself registered.
Okay.
He has to do his graduation from Pakistan or outside Pakistan, from an accredited university, a certain curriculum, coursework and everything. So, there you are. So then you get registered. Now the thing is that, this Pakistan Engineering Council is the flagship of Pakistan. If you study the act, in 1976, the assembly of that time passed an act, and this PEC was created to regulate the engineering profession end to end. As soon as the boy or girl reaches the engineering university, the curriculum, the accreditation, once they graduate, the registration of consultants, contractors, Everything related to engineering is managed here, you know. So I thought that Pakistan is underdeveloped, it's not changing. I've tried politics also. So I tried my luck here because you got to contest an election from all over Pakistan.
How many members are there for PEC?
In PEC, as we are talking, the valid voters whose documents were there, alive and kicking, were there, is 275,000.
275,000 all across Pakistan.
Yeah.
And in the election, if everyone votes?
Theoretically, yes, the outcome is 20% or something.
Okay, okay.
In the previous elections, you know, which I won, I had 17,000 votes. The runner-up had 12,500 votes.
Fair enough.
And the third one is 9. The total was like 40,000 odd.
And what is the mandate of PEC?
The mandate is everything to do with engineering under the sun.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Please.
The act says that Pakistan Engineering Council will assist the federal government as think tank.
Federal government, okay.
They can think, federal government is a machinery. There are secretaries, there are systems.
Ministries,
and
different.
ministries and everything. But who would navigate them? A professional. For in an eye department, you need an eye specialist.
Yeah. Ophthalmologist.
In the ENT department, you need an ENT specialist. In the neurology department,
Yeah.
you need a neurologist.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so you need a specialist. Who supplies these specialists? Engineers. There are engineers specialized in various areas. Right now, in 30 areas. So what I have done and what I am offering to all our friends in SIFC, all our friends in bureaucracy, all our friends in establishment, all our politicians, please take help like you take help from a doctor and get yourself treated when you are sick.
From a specialist?
Now Pakistan is sick and sick to death, bleeding to death. So take the help from a specialist so that, we start becoming healthy.
Fair enough.
Because if somebody other than an eye specialist, which is called an ophthalmologist,
Yes.
starts fidgeting with my eye, chances are I'll go blind.
Yeah. More chances are that you'll go blind. Yes, absolutely.
I'll go blind.
Yeah.
And this is where Pakistan is suffered. With impunity, people are making policies and signing out policies for which they are not competent.
Fair
This
enough.
is my case here in Islamabad.
Okay.
For Pakistan,
Okay.
for our future generations, please utilize the engineers. They are the best in business. They've changed the world. They've changed the Middle East. They've changed the Far East. Even in North America or Europe, you'll find them, contributing and giving outputs out there. And this country, my country, your country, still sinking in.
Now, when you say utilize the engineers, what do you mean and how do you plan to, how can this be put in effect?
Yeah, because like I said, when I give you an example, expertise is available.
Yes.
Sometimes engineers may be having great ideas here.
Yeah.
And soft skills are lacking probably.
Okay.
They may be not a good communicator like yourself or myself.
Fair enough.
But they have brains, they have training, they are specialists.
So the execution part needs to
The
be
inputs. If you are making your water policy, glaciers are melting and water is coming down. How would you manage this? The rainfall, the dams, the rainwater harvesting, how to replenish that rainwater into the ground
Fair enough.
instead of wasting it and let it go down the drains or into the sea. Okay? So the whole world has benefited through the engineers and have become the developed world.
Fair enough.
Why is that for now 77 years, yesterday it was 77
Seventh.
Years. So why we are still underdeveloped? Why we are part of the third world?
So how long have you been chairman of Pakistan?
3 years.
3 years.
And we across the board, holistically, because I come from private sector.
Yeah.
I'm one of the highest taxpayers. I meant business. I didn't want it to waste my time. I was not after. And remember one thing, I hope you know that in Parliament also, in the 5 years, I did not take a single penny. Here also, it is
It's an honorary.
Honorary. I want, this is my service to the nation.
Okay, that's
to my
awesome.
children,
Okay.
to my
I
grandchildren.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, no,
That's
no,
amazing.
no.
That's amazing.
You know, the previous chairman used to use 3 cars.
Mm-hmm.
2 in his, Lahore in his house, and 1 here in Islamabad when he used to be here.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 are parked here. I don't want them.
This is your service to the nation,
Yeah,
basically.
this is my service to the nation.
What are the main initiatives that you undertook in these last 3 years?
Very good. We went for STEM education so that smarter boys and girls in class 8, they come towards science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Okay.
We started funding the final year projects so that research, development, innovation takes place. Startups come up. We have entrepreneurs. We started giving seed money so to the entrepreneurs who didn't have money. They had a good project. The project was selected.
Yeah.
They were given 1 million loan.
Startups.
Interest free for startups. And in my next term, I intend to double, triple that. PEC has the resources. I don't want to build buildings. If my engineers will become strong,
Yeah.
they will
You need
become
to work
competent.
on the
They
fundamentals.
will build this city and the country. I want to build the foundation because the engineers are the leaders. Every nation today which is a developed nation. You know, of course the doctors will do the operations and would be there in the hospital.
Yeah.
Of course the pilots will be flying the planes and landing the planes. But who will build the airports? Who will build the hospitals? Who will build the infrastructure? And remember, all your crew, whatever equipment you are using, starting from your whatever clothes you are wearing, this is all
Everyone requires
engineering.
engineering. Yes, that's it.
Everything, every luxury, whether that's from a fan
Yeah.
to an air conditioner,
Yeah.
to your car, to everything is engineering. That all the equipment that is there in the hospital, that's engineering.
When you say that PEC has funding and can support these students and work on fundamentals, where does this funding come from?
Yeah,
Is it government sponsored or is it?
We don't take a single penny from the government.
Oh, okay. No aid, no grant.
No.
Okay.
It is an autonomous body.
Okay.
And it is, it's got its own council of 60, including the chairman,
Okay.
66 people.
Okay.
46 are elected through direct votes from all over the country.
Okay.
I mean, please, your media must highlight this.
Yes.
What is Pakistan Engineering Council?
Absolutely.
Okay? Pakistan Engineering Council, the election is conducted by the Election Commission of Pakistan. I'm sure you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
The biometrics is done by NADRA.
Okay.
Okay. The voter is got a minimum qualification of 16 years, a graduate engineer.
Okay.
Then there are people with masters, there are people with PhDs. A full lieutenant general, 3-star, is a member of this council. Then there is another through
You're talking about the engineer-in-chief.
engineer-in-chief.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And he contributes. He sits there hands-on.
Okay.
And then this rector of
New Tech.
NUST.
NUST.
Previously, the New Tech rector was also a member of this.
Okay.
So we have inputs, the government, the private sector, the public sector, the professors, the universities.
So
we have good
whole universe.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse.
And
Okay?
how do you generate funds?
The funds are through registration of engineers, consultants,
The
contractors,
fee, yeah.
universities when they are accredited. So the funds are generated from the members, okay? And then because nobody, the establishment out here is all paid for, the registrar downward. Our registrar is a 22 grade officer. Then there are a couple of 21 grade officers out here. So the system is accomplished. We hired, so we made some lateral entries when I came. So wherever I found holes, like we hired a director IT, direct from the market in grade 22. We advertised, interviewed, and he changed the whole landscape. He turned this organization within months into a paperless organization.
Wow.
Nobody has to come to our door. Why? Because now the portals are there. Online they can do it. Go to closest NADRA office and do biometrics. So, it takes commitment.
It takes
You
commitment
have
to
work
work
from-
on fundamentals.
And you have to work from here.
Your heart.
And your heart, and you should know what you're doing. I was from the private sector. So in private sector, you have to look at things holistically.
Yes.
360 degree.
Yeah.
So I've done 360-degree exercise out here.
And you've taken sustainable steps.
It is sustainable.
It's not
ongoing.
just
no. We're not doing firefighting.
Yeah.
We've created positions.
Very nice.
We've done our homework. We've followed the systems and procedures, whatever are there. I mean, the audit of this organization is not done by AGPR or any other government. It is done by PDO, among the top 5 largest international chartered accountants audit firms.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And everybody, except from when we have meetings like in National Assembly or Senate, people come and contribute, But even today, you can sit anywhere in the world and it's online. So we're discouraging all this hoteling and coming and going.
Yeah.
And this will be dropped. So, I mean business.
Yeah.
I'm devoting my time.
No, but the best thing that, I was going through your profile and the initiative that you undertook. I think the best thing is that instead of firefighting or doing stopgap arrangements or doing temporary arrangements, you're working on the fundamentals, which is the basic requirement that we need to create good intellectual thinking engineers, sustainable organization, and those engineers who can contribute towards the cause of Pakistan.
Leaders in the organization. The pyramid.
Yeah.
Like I said, there were 321 grade officers.
Yeah.
Why not a 22 grade? So I promoted the registrar into 22. I want to see engineers for some time to come at the time of the affairs, so that this country can get out of the hole. We are part of a developing world.
Yeah.
The world should start noticing us growing in economic terms.
Just one last question. Did your business suffer because of your assignment here?
Of course, that if I would have been there, of course, I would have, the business would have. But again, Allah always has a plan. If the old man was sitting there, I'm sure that my sons, my eldest has been here now for 17 years after his MS.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old. Then I was 37. But they grew. They grew in confidence.
Yeah.
They got that space,
Yeah.
So I benefited. That it gives me pleasure that, okay, I'm serving my country.
Yeah.
Because remember one thing, and I keep telling everybody, that the boy who used to work in night with PIA and Saudi Arabian Airlines,
Doing multiple jobs.
and who was doing this because of economic reasons, today in this country has so much space, so much growth, so much, I would say everybody can utilize that. Nobody will stop you. Becomes one of the highest taxpayer, becomes the M&A, becomes the chairman of PEC. And
that indeed is an achievement.
So why I'm saying that, because I work without a vested interest.
Yes. So it is basically what you're saying is that it is very much doable. If you have that will, that passion, that fire in your belly, and you have a vision, you should think big.
You're unstoppable.
Sky is the limit. Absolutely correct. Before we wrap up, we have paucity of time. It is very, very interesting talking to you. Learned so much. Any important message that you'd like to give to our viewers, specifically the youngsters?
Youngsters are the hope of this country. My message to them is, this is their country. They will be living in this country for another 40, 50 years. So the stakes are there. People like myself are ready to provide that leadership, provided to do, and help them put together our act and systems so that this country gets going. I went to UK at the age of 21, and I went to US at the age of 30. That's not the solution. The world, you'll be lost. Generations would be lost. Stay in this country. Work on your future. I promise you this has potential. And, we're going for our elections also. I've devoted myself into it. I don't want anything. Alhamdulillah, Allah has been kind to me. And I do it for my generation. So I insist that all the youth in general and the engineers of Pakistan who are blessed with the Washington Accord signatory status, because they won't suffer, because they will remain engineers all over the world. But this country, their motherland, their parents, where their forefathers are, this is bleeding. We need you. Let's work together. And generations are, and from my generation, I always ask for forgiveness, because we are responsible. But I don't want you when you grow older to again, this country should, at that point in time, whether I'm there in this world or not, this country deserves a better place. We are a nuclear country, so we have the potential. We can do it, and the engineers can convert this country into a developed
into
nation.
a better country. The same circle should not be repeated, and very well said, Najeeb Saab. I think we as youngsters need to capitalize on the sacrifices of our elders who've sacrificed their youth, in working extremely hard and creating those opportunities, those pockets of opportunities, and we need to capitalize on them and work for our country. This is our country, this is our identity, and we have to take it forward. No one else from outside will come and take it forward. Mohammad Najeeb Haroon Saab, such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Continue with the same zeal, and I'm sure we need more Pakistanis like you. You are amongst the top 50 taxpayers. You're contributing a lot in terms of your educational excellence, in terms of Pakistan Engineering Council. Continue this good work. We need more people like you.
Thank you very much. This country has given me everything. I want to pay back.
Jazakallah. With this, we come to the end of this part of Sky's the Limit. Inshallah, I will catch you in another episode of Sky's the Limit. Till then,